All right, guys, it's TeamStrub Day 4. I'm here in Savannah, Georgia at the Youth Futures Authority, and I'm here with two very bright gentlemen. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves and sort of tell the people what you guys do here at the YFA.
My name is Tony. My name is Curley Green. Got you, Tony. I work with mainly program and evaluation manager. We look at programs that will benefit families within the community and also evaluate the effectiveness of those programs.
And I'm Tony Holmes with Information Reporting, and we actually work on data collection and reporting, and we actually identify data and best practice information for programs, and we are trying to address issues for youth and children in our community by using data to help people make better decisions about how to use better resources.
Okay, and thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it. Tony, why don't you explain sort of what the YFA is and what the purpose of the organization is?
We're a collaborative that was created in 1988 to address issues for children and youth in Chatham County. We are comprised of a lot of appointed board members across various disciplines that address youth issues in our community, and we actually address how to be strategic and how to address issues for youth and children, and how to identify priority areas, and how to use the collective impact across the board to help move the indicators in a better direction for youth and children in our community.
Okay, and we just wrapped up a lengthier discussion. We spoke about some of the key indicators, and one of the major focuses for the organization right now is the word gap, right? And we got a nice little visual here. So why don't you guys tell us about the word gap and why it's so important in the lives of very young children?
Well, we found that some of our kids have what's called a 30 million word gap, and that phrase is reflective of kids who have poor reading skills, but also have socialization skills where they only hear a certain number of words during the course of their lifetime. And if we can increase that word gap, then they can become more proficient in their social skills as well as developmentally reading as well. And so we try to concentrate on getting parents and guardians and providers, child care providers, to increase the number of words that kids hear during the course of their lifetime, especially between the ages of 0 and 3.
Okay, and one of the great programs that we spoke about, Tony, was Bright from the Start. You want to mention Bright from the Start and maybe tell people what that is?
Yes, one of our partners is the Child Care Resource Referral of Southeast Georgia. They are with Bright from the Start, and they actually provide technical support and services to child development centers, people that actually provide early learning opportunities for children, the daycare centers. And we actually work with them on our YFA Cares program. We try and address licensed child care providers and to get them involved in becoming quality rated. In Georgia, quality rated is the program by which child care providers go through a series of standards, and they increase their skills and abilities to provide higher quality care for children they serve. So we started the YFA Cares, which is a program that provides incentives to child care providers to enroll in quality rated and to become a rated facility, and to have more training and knowledge and infrastructure to better serve kids and provide better quality of care. So that theory being, the theory being, if kids who have higher quality early learning environments do better and are better prepared for kindergarten, so they enter school ready for kindergarten and ready for schoolwork, and they have better chance of being on grade level and having better school success than kids who enter kindergarten who are not academically prepared for kindergarten, who had no early learning experiences early on.
Okay, great. So YFA Cares and the word gap, that's really just one initiative of many that the YFA is involved with. We talked about the great involvement in the community and everything. And we spoke about the key indicators. You know, that for a while the YFA was tracking up to 23 different key indicators in the community and trying to affect change in all of them, and that a big step for the organization was drilling down to 8 key indicators. How did you guys go about that process? How did you choose the different indicators, and how have you seen that that's helped the YFA make a difference within those key indicators?
Let Tony speak on that.
Well, as you said, for a while, for years, we were
That's a
trying.
big one, right?
Yeah, that's a big thing, yeah.
For a while, we were
That's
trying
big,
to track 23 indicators, and there was way too many of them to try and focus on, and we found ourselves being spread too thin. So for the last few years, our board has decided that we have more impact if we could drill down and select some focused indicators out of the 23. So we realized that your chances of being more impactful and having more of a grip on how to better manage the condition across the community is better if you focus on certain areas. So right now we are focused on early learning, school readiness for children, grade level reading, and we also are looking at trying to expose more youth, particularly minority youth, to math, science, and technology. It's called STEM. Because so many of our kids do not do well in math and sciences, and so many of our youth, especially inner city youth, aren't exposed much to those subject matters. So we're trying to do what we can to promote awareness for early learning and for STEM education and to increase the number of youth who do better in science and math academically. We're also looking at, we're glad to see in our community that teen pregnancy has been going down for the last several years, but we still address the need for teen pregnancies to be reduced and for juvenile crime and delinquency in our community to be not as what it is now, to be better.
And that's what the data says, that's why the indicators have gone to those particular numbers, because of what the data in the community says that they are. So we're looking at those priority areas based on what the data has to say.
Great, great. Now here in Chatham County, we also spoke pretty well about the idea of intervention versus prevention, and how there's a wealth of programs available for maybe delinquents, who have committed a crime, and part of the struggle really for the organization is considering reallocating those resources in a preventative way. So how are you guys working towards shifting the needle from prevention from intervention? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's an interesting thing that most people look at supportive services, but we look at more of the intervention services before issues happen. And that's why we're looking way back. We're starting earlier in a child's life. The 30 million word gap, the Y Care, the STEM program. We have a book reading program. We have an employment program. And all those factors can reduce or eliminate some of the indicators that we currently have. And so we're trying to improve from an intervention point of view, which is a lot cheaper than a preventive point of view, based on what research is showing. It costs in the state of Georgia $200 a day for a child to be locked up in juvenile detention. And it costs them about almost $75,000 a year just to have one child locked up. But the school, it costs $10,000 a year just for a kid to go to school. So there's a great difference in the value money-wise, as well as all the different resources that are dedicated to just one child who was locked up compared to one child who's currently in school.
I want to clarify, you mentioned intervention. We are trying to focus on
Prevention.
not intervention. It's better to invest the money early on to prevent the kids from going down the wrong pathway than to try and get them to turn around once they've gone down the wrong pathway. So trying to focus on prevention as much as possible.
And it was a fascinating little phrase you mentioned before, the school to prison pipeline, with the third grade reading levels being a key indicator. I was blown away when you mentioned that.
Yeah, they've determined how many prison beds you're going to need based on how many youth are not reading properly on the third grade reading level. So, and that's really sad, because if you're looking at a third grader who cannot read, the number of kids who cannot read properly in third grade, they're looking at that as a way to determine how many beds you're going to need in prison to house the population that's going to commit crime. So it goes to show you how crucial it is for youth to be prepared for school early on. They stay on track. And they have a better chance of going through school, graduating on time, and having a better early adulthood transition than youth who fall through the cracks, or come to school late, are not prepared for school, because society is going to have a place for you, unfortunately. So if you're not going to do well in school, then they'll have a place to house you. If you're not doing the wrong thing, then you're going to end up going to jail or prison. And it's sad that they actually use that as a determinant for how many beds you need, but that is the reality, and that's something we have to be aware of.
Well, school basically is, in the kindergarten, first and second grade, you learn to read. At the third grade, you read to learn. And for those who are not able to read to learn, then it becomes a very handicapped position for them. And those without high school diplomas, jobs are very difficult to find, and so it becomes you find other alternatives for getting monies, and it ends up with them being locked up or housed, and this continuous cycle through their entire lifetime. So that's why we try to look at this preventive focus early in life, so we have to reduce the number of kids who are going down that pipeline.
That's great. So people watching at home, they want to learn more about these issues. What would be the best way for them to, do some further research? I mean, we're looking now at the Youth Futures website.
Our website is youthfutures.com, and feel free to go to our website and look at our information. You can call us. Our office number is 912-352-7054. And we wish Mr. Strub Godspeed in his travels, and I'm sure he will learn a whole lot on his trek across all our states, and may God be with him, and may he learn and impart his knowledge and bring it back to us so we can do better for our youth and families in our communities.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Good.
Great to be here.
Right.
Good.
God bless you.
All right, guys.